The Tema West Municipal Assembly Tuesday demolished some structures erected on waterways around the Lashibi drain. This follows a directive from the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey for the buildings to be pulled down. The siting of the buildings, including that of the assemblyman for the area, said to cause serious flooding when it rains. According to MCE for Tema West, Accra Work, who supervised the demolition, several attempts to get the developers to stop building have been unsuccessful. She is warning Tuesday's exercise is only the first of a series to be conducted by Assembly ahead of the rainy season. Manuel Cranton was there for us and our reports.
The demolishing exercise started from a washing bay which was under construction without a permit. The red writings of stop work were still visible on the walls, which were now succumbing to the force from the bulldozer. Tuesday morning's exercise had been necessitated by unsuccessful attempts to get the developers to stop building in the waterway. Accra Work is Municipal Chief Executive of the Tema West Municipal Assembly.
When you look at the big bridge over there, have you seen it? Yeah, it's being constructed, and so it is close to this particular building, and that's the more reason why it was so alarming. So the minister was just passing by and saw, how can somebody build close to a bridge that is being constructed, and then at the same time pipelines are also here. This is a planned area, so you cannot just site container buildings and all other things anyhow. And the work is ongoing. We've just started. This is just the beginning. So we are trying as much as possible to advise everybody who has built on the waterway to make sure he does it himself, because we are going to go to the Ramsar site. People who just site containers anyhow, people who just put up their buildings without permits are going to suffer. We are going to make sure we take them to court and make sure they destroy it themselves, because it becomes a cost when Assembly does all these things.
A few minutes into the exercise, there was a protest. A woman who only identified herself as a wife of the owner of the structure said she suspected foul play.
Regional Minister Baha, it will Baha quite no better stop work. Then stop work, no. If you go to this lane, ya children die wine, you say why water lane. Ya children who you now stop work. And then you have a boy, many problem. But my problem is say, assembly man no shakure mono, or wow, ya assembly man, and if any, or the ya bed in our demo, and the actual stop work, or honey actually be waha, and ya babu mimi husband, dear, and a ja, assembly man, dear. Apart from that, who quite insider, stop working, no, baby, me punch you, or my cost bubuno.
The assembly member for the Lashibi electoral area denied the allegation.
I think it is the inside. There is another structure which they marked on it, stop work produce permit. But on my structure, there is no evidence of stop work or produce, how do you call it? I don't think it should be affected because I contacted the technical men.
Do you have permits?
I have permit. I've started the process. I have a receipt of what I've started.
Before having permit?
No, I've not finished. I've not finished it yet.
But looking at the level at which it is now, as an assemblyman, you're supposed to have permits.
Well, as the West Chairman of the Assembly, I know permit takes process. It takes process before it is finally approved. You understand?
Eventually, the building in contention will also be pulled down. Some residents say this will help reduce flooding in the area.
The situation is very bad when it rains. And we are quite happy with the demolition, even though some people are crying foul. For some time now, it seems it's gone down. But initially, when it rained, even though these gutters seem to be very big, but the water usually overflow to the bridge, and those at the other side cannot even cross. But when they started the overhead thing, they tried to dredge the gutter, so it minimized. But for some time now, because of these buildings and those things, as you can see, they are filling part of the gutter with rubbish.
Very, very bad. But if people go too further, you see people are closer to the gutter too.
Meanwhile, the MCE says the Assembly is working to increase its efficiency.
Yeah, I would not say that Assembly is not ineffective. We've been giving permits to people, but people have refused to come to the Assembly, the reason best known to themselves. Yeah, so the Assembly is making all effort to do permits for them. I will not say the assembly is not efficient, but we normally also have to take entry permits from TDC before buildings are put up. But sometimes it delays from TDC. That's how come I could see that people are also doing their own thing, because they are thinking that before you get that entry permit from TDC, it will take a very long time, and it's also expensive. And so, why don't I go ahead and do whatever I can do?
As the rains beckon, preparations are underway to minimize the impact of possible flooding which may occur with the rains. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Manuel Kranting from Lashibi in Accra.